Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. My name is Stone Rain Productions, but feel free to call me SRP if you'd like. Today I thought since set 6 is completely spoiled, all the cards are released, I figured it'd be fun to revisit the rotation decks and take a look and see what we've got available. Yeah, today I've got 3 lists that I wanted to bring to you, and the most complete one I'm saving for the third one. But we had some already, so if you haven't, please by all means go back and check out the other rotation lists. But these are going to be designed for after set 7 comes out when the rotation occurs. And so, just for those that aren't aware, the way that Star Wars Unlimited works is we're going to have 3 sets, which we've already had: the Spark of Rebellion, Shadows of the Galaxy, Twilight of the Republic, then another 3 sets, which are Jump to Lightspeed, Legends of the Force, and Secrets of Power, which is just about to release at the time of recording this. And then when the next set comes out, set 7, the first 3 sets are going to no longer be legal in Premiere Play and are only going to be legal in what's called what the heck is the name of it? It's Eternal. I believe it's called Eternal. But generally, that's going to be a non-rotating format, which means that all the sets are going to be legal. So today, I want to just discuss a couple of decks that I've got here that will be good after the rotation happens. So that means no cards from the first 3 sets. So I just wanted to jump in here and start off with Padme. And I really think that this deck has been testing very well. I think a lot of people have picked this to do quite well, and I completely agree. And so I just wanted to go over everything quick. We've got 3 decks, so I'm going to try to just rush through here. I think a good majority of people know the cards, but we're going to cover everything. Padme Amidala is the Secrets of Power leader, and she is a 6 deploy, and she's got 3/8 for stats. And her backside is the same as her front side, except there's no restriction. When you reveal or discard 1 or more cards from your hand, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, deal 1 damage to a base. I've been pairing this with Tarkin Town, but after rotation, that is not going to be an option. So we've got a 30-point base here for now. Again, the backside does the same thing, except there's no restriction. You don't have to exhaust Padme to get that ping. And I just wanted to go over everything. Furtive Handmaiden, I think most people had this in the initial builds of their list, but it's kind of seeing its way out the door. It's still good, and as far as the limited card pool, we're still going to have 1 more set to go, so we're not seeing the full picture yet of what's available. So I got to use what's available. Furtive Handmaiden is very good to fill the void essentially here until we know what's going to be for out for set 7. On attack, we can discard a card and draw a card. Really good. Triggers Padme, and it gets that ping in. Bail Organa, I think, is seeing quite a bit of play amongst many decks now, but it's a 2/4. On attack, we can discard a card from our hand. If we do, we can create a spy token. This, again, is just to trigger the Padme ability and get the ping. Chopper is extremely aggressive. I have this in my normal build right now as well, too, which I'm probably going to do a final update on my Padme list moving forward, but I think this makes the cut. It's very aggressive, 2 cost, 4/1. And when it deals damage to a base, each player discards a card from their hand. Again, just another way to trigger Padme. And if you notice, we've got a lot of low-cost stuff. This is a very low-to-the-ground aggressive deck for sure. We have a space consideration here with Fireball, which is a 2 cost 3/3 ambush. This doesn't really work particularly well with Padme, but it's just a good card in space, and it's a good way to kind of clear the space arena by getting that 3/3 ambush on turn 1. Karis Nemec, I think some people kind of been back and forth on this card, but I think in general it's good. I know there's a lot of 4 toughness units, but I like the fact that this leaves behind a spy token. This will trigger Padme because we do disclose. That's the reason why I wanted to include it in here. And when this is defeated, we create a spy token, but it also becomes ready. So it's a potential another 2 damage on the attack there. I do have an N1 Starfighter, just an aggressively slanted space unit, 2 cost, 3/2. I think the best 2-drop in the game, or not in the game, in this deck is the Warrior of Clan Ordo. For Padme, 2 cost, 3/3 is really good, but on attack we can disclose aggression from our hand, which is basically show a card that has the aggression symbol like this. And if you don't, it deals 2 damage to your base. But in our deck, it's going to be, if we play this on turn 1, we attack, we disclose a card, we get a ping off Padme, and we also get to attack for 4. So it's really, really good. Just to confirm here, it's 1 damage to a unit, so even better. We get to damage something. So there's a couple cards that I had to take some liberties with because of the limited card pool. But I'm going with Charged with Espionage. I don't think this is too bad. Plus, it's another disclose card, so we get to ping off of Padme. But this one says it's a 2 cost reveal Cunning. If you do, look at an opponent's hand and discard a card from it. I think with the way that this deck is built, it really shouldn't be a problem to trigger that. Plus, it's a ping off of Padme, and it's well-timed discard, hopefully. We can get rid of something big there. One of the best cards in the deck is Faith in Your Friends. This card is just amazing on the first turn especially, but the way it works, I want to just describe it because some people, when you first see it, or some people may be like, oh, this doesn't really do a ton, but the way that this card works is it costs 2. It says search the top 3 cards of your deck for a card and draw it. Then you may disclose Cunning, Heroism, and if you do, you get to create 2 spy tokens. So let me walk you through this. The disclose happens after you look at the top 3 cards and put one of those cards in your hand. So you can look for a card that can help enable the disclose if you want to. A lot of the cards in this deck are going to have either one of those, but in particular, we're a little bit more cunning based. So it shouldn't be too big of a problem. But ideally what we want to do with this is we want to put 4 power on the board. So 2 spies, which are 0/2 with rate 2 each. We'll have 2 of them. Plus we'll have a little bit of card selection. It's a very, very good turn 1 play for sure. Next up we've got Anakin, full 3 of. It's a 3/4 for 3 with hidden, and while we control a Padme Amidala as a leader or a unit, it gains rate 2. It's pretty much a slam dunk in this deck because we're playing her as a leader. We're going to always have a Padme in some capacity, and attack for 5 with a 3 cost is pretty awesome. In Merrin, we've got, in here I'm doing the full 3 of. She's a 3 cost 2/5, and on attack we can discard a card from her hand. If we do, we get to deal 2 damage to a unit. We combine that with Padme. If she's still a leader, we get the extra damage from that as well. Sabine's Masterpiece is just a consideration for space. We can get the Cunning and Aggression pings off of this, which means we can exhaust a resource if we want with this, and we can also deal a damage to a unit or a base with Sabine's Masterpiece. Next up, Beguile. Again, this is a little bit of liberties because of the limited card pool, but it's a 3 cost. It's basically the closest thing we have to a Waylay, and we get to look at our opponent's hand, and then we can return a non-leader unit that costs 6 or less, put it back in our opponent's hand. Pretty good card, nice tempo card, and we get to see what they're working with as well too. Ahsoka Tano is just a good way to make our opponent discard, plus we can exhaust an opposing unit with this. And it's a 3/5 for 4. Stats aren't particularly great, but it's not bad. And the effect is really what we're playing this for. Blue Ace is another card that a lot of people are talking about. It is undercosted, and it has potential downside of, on attack, you get to ready an exhausted enemy unit. Most times in my testing, this really hasn't been that much of a downside, because most of the time the unit that I want to defeat is the one I'm attacking anyway. It's not that huge of a drawback, and I mean, you can always play around this or just resource it if you don't think it's going to be good. Lightmaker has been phenomenal in my testing. The Raid 4 on this is just particularly great. Anything that's got Raid 4, I think, has a chance to see play, and this getting in for 7 is potentially really, really hard hitting at the 5 cost spot space. 3/4, and then to top it off, when it's defeated, we get to exhaust each enemy unit in this arena. So we get to exhaust everything. Pretty great if it happens to be defeated. I decided to go with 2 copies of Luthen's Holcraft in here because it's got Disclose. I don't necessarily think that this is going to be something that we're going to trigger a ton. I mean, we can. If we've got the cards to Disclose, we can run it into something to defeat it on purpose. And when this is defeated, an opponent has to discard 2 cards from their hand. We just have to Disclose Aggression, Heroism, which I don't really see as being a problem. I still have 3 copies of Ray in here because I think that there's enough card draw in here that we can get the activation. Baron is really good. We get to discard. Actually, we've just got Furtive Handmaiden, so we could change that into something else. Before the primary version, Ray is definitely featured more because we have a lot more draw effects, but not as many here. So that may be something that we want to look at changing. Sideboard, possibly Cham could be good. Charged with Treason. Treason is also good because it's a 4 cost. It's a little bit over cost, but it's 5 damage, so that might be a better option to run in her place here. And lastly, we've got 2 copies of Cinta Kaz, which is something a lot of people are looking forward to. It's a 6 cost with plot, and when we play it, we can attack with a unit. Just another way for us to get in with Padme right away, or we can play it and attack with another unit. So I really didn't think about the Ray here, so apologies. I definitely would change that, and most likely go with this Charged with Treason or Cham Syndulla, most likely. There's just not enough draw in this deck the way that it is. But I still like this list a lot. I haven't really tested up any of the rotation decks. It's all really theory crafting, and it's more designed to be a thought experiment to get ourselves in the mindset of when rotation happens. Just something to start thinking about now. So the next deck that I have, and I'm working on a regular premiere version of this that includes all the 6 sets, the 6 sets. And I've been having a lot of fun with this leader. I like plot quite a bit. I wasn't sure if there was enough to work with, but I think that we may have enough. And the main version I've been having a lot of fun with. And as I said, I haven't really tested any of the rotation decks. It's more of a thought experiment to get us in the mindset of what we want to do with our decks here. But Palpatine, we'll go over this, just explain everything. It's got an action where we can pay 1, exhaust it, search the top 5 cards of our deck for a card with plot, reveal it and draw it. Put the other cards on the bottom of your deck in a random order. This deploys on 7 and has the ability of the first card that you play with plot, when he deploys, costs 3 less. So the gimmick with him is we can get up to 10 points of plot when he deploys. Okay, so let's take a look. Again, these are all rotation decks, and I'll go over the reasoning behind these and explain everything. Again, we've got a limited card pool here, but I really like this Nimble Prowess. It's been pretty nice so far. 1 cost, and we get to attach it to a friendly unit, and it gives it +1/+1, but we get to exhaust a unit in the same arena. So we can exhaust something for 1 cost, and we get to bump up our own unit, which is pretty nice. Imperial Dark Trooper, I think everybody's talking about this one. If you're going to play Command and Villainy, I think this is pretty much a must include. 2 cost 3/3 is just too hard to pass up if you're playing in Villainy. Our first plot card here comes in the form of Jar Jar, which I think is a very good unit. Jar Jar finally gets a nice playable card. But this one is a 2 cost 2/1, and when played, we get to give another friendly unit +2/+2 for this phase. Again, for those that aren't sure what plot is, it means that when we play our leader, we get to play any number of cards with plot from our resource row that we've resourced earlier in the game, and we have to pay the cost for that. So in this case, with Palpatine, when he flips, we'll be able to play up to 10 total cost of cards with plot, which is pretty powerful. And I really like the Jar Jar here, +2/+2. So essentially, if we think about it, when Palpatine flips, we can give him +2/+2. And that's pretty great. It doesn't have to be Palpatine, but it's just an option. And I really like this mechanic, and I think it's potential that it can be really broken in the future. Because the leader flip is already one of those free pieces of value that you're going to be getting, and adding that little extra bit to it just makes it even that much better. Up next, Major Partagaz is pretty bonkers. It's an early drop, it's 0/6. However, this is something you want to get a bunch of officials on the board before you attack with them, because he's really good if you get a bunch of officers to attack first. He's got Overwhelm, 0/6, and when another friendly official unit attacks, this unit gets +2/+2 for this phase. That does stack, so if you have 5 officials that have attacked, he would get +2/+2 for each one of those that have attacked, so +10, and he's got Overwhelm. It's pretty good. Definitely like him quite a bit, and the regular version I've been testing, he's been pretty great as well. In this version, I'm running, again, because of the limited card pool, I'm running the Chancellor Shuttle just for the restore primarily. This also has, if you control Chancellor Palpatine as a leader or a unit, you may give an experience token when it's defeated. So a way for us to restore early, and when it's defeated, we get to put an experience on something. It's not terrible. It's also a good space filler. The trade route taxation, I like this quite a bit, especially for his flip. It's pretty great. It's got a plot in it too. It says choose an opponent. If you control more units than an opponent, they can't play events for this phase. Pretty good way to shut somebody out, especially if they're depending on those events, something like a control deck. Armor of Fortune I have just as a one-of in here. I'm not super crazy about it, but I wanted to have a nice critical mass of plot. And one thing you really want to consider here is Palpatine. When we use his ability, we're putting cards in our hand, so we're continually replenishing our hand. So it's just something to keep in mind. But this one is plot 2 cost, and it gives our unit +0/+3. I think the real superstar for plot is Chancellor Palpatine. This is probably the best plot card. I know people are running this out of aspect just to get the effect. 3 costs 2/2, and when played, if you control a leader unit, you create 2 spy tokens and give those tokens Sentinel for this phase. It just makes it so your opponent can't attack your base on the ground. It's very, very difficult to deal with. Death Trooper has gotten a reprint, so it is going to be available after rotation. 3 cost, 3/3, and when played, you get to deal 2 damage to a friendly unit, and then friendly ground unit, and then 2 damage to an enemy unit on the ground as well. Just a little unit that gives us some potential removal. Speaking of that, the Eager Escort Ambush, Eager Escort Fighter, 3 cost, 4/1 ambush, just a good way to clear the road and space. I wanted to look for a little bit of beef on the ground, so 3 cost, 4/4 for the Knight of Ren, no text on it. It's just a solid card. I haven't really focused in on the officials very much here, but Palpatine is an official, Partagaz is an official, Jar Jar is an official, and our next card is as well, Nute Gunray. It's a 3 cost, 3/4 with grit. When played and on attack, you may give another friendly official with Sentinel. Sentinel. Let me start over. You may give another friendly official unit Sentinel for this phase. This card has been very, very good because it gives one of our units Sentinel, especially if it's something that we don't really care about. We can just have it take an attack for us, and we can go from there. Plus, we can always give it to this itself because it's got grit and it can take an attack and just get a stronger attack of its own. Charged with Corruption. I really like this card quite a bit. I think it's pretty fantastic, and I'm running it in the primary version 2 for Premiere. This one is a 3 cost event, and we can disclose command. If we do, a friendly unit captures an enemy leader unit. So we just basically capture a unit. It's from set 2, the ability, but it's been brought back into this set in a lot of different and strange ways. It's just kind of a neat way to clear the board. It's not permanent removal. It just basically gets put underneath one of our units and can't be played or leaves play. Masamida is a 4 cost unit with plot. It has, when played, give an experience token to each of up to 2 other officials. We've got a pretty good amount of officials in here, so it's not really a problem to get those. And it's been pretty good for me so far in testing. Definitely better than the uncommon that its rarity suggests here. It's very good. And as I was saying before, we get such a high amount of deploy with plot with Palpatine, so there's going to be quite a few cards that we ended up playing when he's deployed. So it's just a great and solid card. The next card, the Nubian Star Skiff, I put in here just for restore in space. This is almost always going to have restore because it says while we control an official, between our actual officials, the spy tokens are also officials. We should always have an official, and if we don't, we're probably not winning the game anyway. But this hits for 4, and it also gives us back 2 points on our base. So I just wanted to give it a try in here and see how it performed. It doesn't look like it's that bad. 4 for a 4/4 in space isn't horrible. I'm not sure why I decided to go with 1 copy of the Perimeter ATRT. I meant to go with 2, but space is always a reason. So, deck space, that is, not an actual space, but 4 cost, 3/5 with Sentinel. Nothing to write home about. Just a way to make sure that we don't get attacked. Slime War has been also pretty good. I wouldn't say great, but good. 4 cost with plot 2/6 this time. And Slime War has, when played, for this phase, each enemy unit gets -2, -0 while it's attacking a base. So it's just a way to kind of mitigate some damage coming at our base. Vice Admiral Rampart. I don't have him in my main list, but again, we have to find room for other cards because of the limited card pool. It's a 4-cost 3/6, and on attack we can disclose command villainy, and if we do, we get to give an experience token to, I believe it's 2 other officials. If you do give an experience token to each of up to 2 other units. Okay, so there's no restriction there, but it is an official as well. Cad Bane is another plot card. It is not an official, however, but it does have a very useful ability. With the when played, you may defeat a unit with 2 or less remaining hit points, and it's a 4/5. So I put it in at 2. I think it's good. It's not great, but for plot, it's definitely going to get the job done. No glory only results. It's just a way for us to get rid of any problematic units that may be floating around. We gain control of the unit, and then we defeat it. Craving Power, I've got in here 2 copies. This is going to be a premier way for us to have removal in this list. 5 cost +2/+2 upgrade. Attached to a friendly unit, and when played, we get to deal damage to an enemy unit equal to its attached unit's power. Good way to get rid of a single unit for sure. Plus, it also enhances our attacker. I've got 1 copy of Crucible in here. This is a new card, 5/5 in space for 6. And when played, when defeated, we get to give an experience token to each other friendly unit. Penultimate card here in this list is Dogmatic Shock Squad. 6 cost with plot, and it's 4/6 Sentinel. And sorry, we can't see the first light for some reason, but it's a 7 cost with plot in space, 5/7 ambush. And I apologize because I took a screenshot of this, but it is covering up. But when this unit attacks and defeats an enemy unit, we get to draw a card. That's the missing text on it. So it's a cool deck. I really like plot quite a bit. The main version I've been having a lot of fun with, and I think it's a lot better than people think. So definitely give this one a shot if you have a chance. And the last one is Vader. I don't know what to say about this one. Vader is going to lose a lot of pieces, but they're all small dinks and dunks, so it's pretty much just as good afterwards, and I'll go over my choices here. But Vader is a space leader, has an action where if we can exhaust it, and if we've attacked with a non-token vehicle unit this phase, we get to create a TIE Fighter token. And this deploys on 6, so if we've got 6 or more resources, we can deploy it either on the ground as a 5/6, or to the space arena, where we can give a unit +5/+5, and when it deploys as an upgrade, we get to create 2 TIE Fighters. So whatever we're losing, we're getting back, and I think we actually get more 1-drops in this. I've got 11 in here. It's just bonkers that this deck is pretty much not going to lose a beat at all, and we'll go over the differences here. The A-Wing is a 1 cost 1/2 raid 1, so it's going to be able to attack for 2. First Order TIE, most likely know this one from the current list, but it's a 1 cost 2/1. And if we have a token unit, this gets raid 1, so an easy way to get 3 attack in. Public Y-Wing, 1 cost 1/3, this one's already in. Screeching TIE Fighter is a new one, 1 cost 2/1, and on attack we can choose a ground unit. If we do, it loses keywords. Good way to get rid of something like Restore if we need to. Accelerate Our Plans is really probably the best attack event that I can find so far. 1 cost, we can exhaust a friendly unit, and if we do, we get to attack with another unit, and that unit gets +3/+0. I think I mixed these up. This was supposed to be 3, and I was supposed to go with 1 here. Either way, it's still on the list. Punch Hit's also good, plus 1 cost, and we get to attack with a vehicle unit, and it gets +2/+0 for this attack. The Kijimi Patrollers, 2 cost, our first 2 cost unit. When played, we create a TIE Fighter token. Again, nothing really to write home. We just want to go as wide as possible, get as many units on the board as we can. Wingman Victor 2, we're primarily using this as a pilot. I guess in a pinch if we need to, we can put it on the ground. But +1/+1, and when it's played, we get to create a TIE Fighter token. Zargarian Starhopper, 2 cost, 2/3. When defeated, we get to deal 2 indirect damage. Just another way to potentially deal damage to base. I put in 2 copies of Air Superiority, and it basically says if you control more space units than an opponent, deal 4 damage to a ground unit that an opponent controls. It's just a way to hedge if something is really bothering us on the ground. Contracted Jumpmaster is a 3 cost, 2/4 in space with Sentinel. Just a way to make sure that we kind of free up most of our other units. It's just a way to make sure that our other units don't get attacked. Death Space Skirmisher, 3 cost, 3/3. When played, if we control another space unit, we can exhaust a unit. Nothing really to write home about, but it's good. Eager Escort Fighter, this is a good way to remove something in space. 3 cost, 4/1 with Ambush. I really like this new one with Plot because it comes out with Vader potentially, but it's a 3 cost, 2/3 with when played, you can exhaust a unit. Again, nothing really to write home about, but being able to put it out when Vader is deployed is pretty neat because it's just an immediate exhaust. So if there's something that we are really worried about, we can just exhaust it and then attack with our Vader. Got 3 copies of Stolen AT Hauler. I think most of you know this. 3 cost, 4/5. And when it's defeated, our opponent can play it from our discard pile for free. Same goes if they take it and we defeat it, we can play it again. 3 copies of Victor Leader. Each other friendly space unit gets +1/+1. If you know Vader at all, it's part of that, so it's pretty great. I'm trying out 2 copies of Evil is Everywhere in here. 3 cost, and it says defeat a unit with cost equal to or less than the number of villainy aspects among icons among friendly units. This doesn't have it, this doesn't have it. That's not going to be in play. This doesn't have it. Majority of our units have it, at least half. So I figure it'd be worth, it's a removal event, so I figure we'd give it a shot. And the primary win here is the Clone Combat Squadron, which isn't jump to light speed, it's not rotating, so 4 cost, 3/3, and this unit gets +1/+1 for each other friendly space unit. That's going to be our primary win condition. The only thing we really lose in this list is the shuttle, where we get to capture something. We've got some removal in here, so I think that we're not really too worried about it. But I also have 3 copies of Craving Power, so we can buff up one of our ships and use the ability of Craving Power to deal damage to defeat something. This one I think is a slam dunk. It's going to be a piece of cake to just throw this in there and go from there. So that's the 3 decks for today. I hope that you've enjoyed them, and by all means feel free to leave a comment, any suggestions for changes that you may have. Let me know if you like the list. Again, make sure you check out the other list where I went over other decks there. I think I did 4 the last time, and that was before the set 6 cards came out. But just want to get in that mindset of thinking of decks, thinking about what's available for those decks after rotation. But that's it for now. Just want to say, if you could, please like and subscribe the video. Like the video and subscribe. Helps myself out quite a bit. I'm still a new content creator, still under 2 months here. So any support definitely helps. And I very much appreciate the support that you guys have given me so far. So I wanted to say thanks for that as well. And lastly, just want to say, may the force be with you, my friends. Hope that you be well, or hope that you are well, and I wish you the very best. Take care, my friends.